Hey everyone, I'm Cameron. This is Carsideration, and today we have a 2017 Ford Focus RS. So before I go into this specific Focus RS, I wanted to go over the RS brand, a little bit of the history of it. The first Ford to have the RS badge was in 1968 with the Ford 15M RS Coupe. But most auto enthusiasts would say that the RS brand really started in 1970 with the Ford Escort RS 1600. But ever since then, there has been plenty of RSs available worldwide. They've been in many forms, like the Escort, the Capris, Sierras, even Fiestas in Mexico. There's a Fiesta RS in Mexico. And even crazy prototypes like the RS 200 that was built specifically for Group B homologation requirements. And then in 2002, Ford released the first Ford Focus RS, and then again in 2009 and 2010 with the Mark II. And then finally, on February 3rd in 2015, Ford released the Mark III Ford Focus RS, which you see here. So a few stats on the Focus RS, the Mark III. It has a 2.3 liter EcoBoost engine from the Mustang, but it's tuned up a bit. It's 350 horsepower at the crank, 350 foot-pounds of torque, redlines at around 6,000 RPMs, and does 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Now this car is a little bit on the heavier side. It weighs 3,400 pounds, which is heavier considering that your average mid-size sedan nowadays weighs 3,300 pounds. And has a really trick all-wheel drive system that I'll try to review and go over the best I can explain it here in a second. But it also has a top speed of 165 miles an hour. So the Mark III RS, like I said, was debuted in 2015, and they produced it in 2016, 2017, and 2018. And I say 2018 lightly because 2018s were limited editions. So the bulk of what you're gonna see out on the road when you do see them is gonna be a 2016 or 2017, odds are. They came in 4 color options. Came in frozen white, fun little fact, 2016, 2017. I believe frozen white is the most rare color that they produced. Came in shadow black, stealth gray, and as you see here, nitrous blue, which happens to be my personal favorite. It's just a fantastic option. Fortunately, we're inside, it's a gloomy day anyways. You won't be able to see the metal flake that is in this paint, but it is gorgeous in the sunlight. It came in 2 package options as well. This is an RS1. The RS2 package is just a step up. The biggest difference with the RS2 packages has leather trimmed seats, heated steering wheel, heated mirrors, 8-way adjustable seats, and it also has voice navigation. But the biggest difference was it came with forged wheels and Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. So in 2018, as quick as the Focus was here, everyone found out that it was no longer going to be produced, and 2018 was going to be its last year. So for 2018, Ford did a limited edition release of them. They only came in nitrous blue or race red. For the United States, there is only 1,000 units built and only 500 available in Canada. There are a few things different on it. The main difference is going to be it comes with a limited slip front diff, and it only comes in the RS2 package. There was no RS1. They added some carbon fiber inserts to the interior as well, which looks really nice. Had a black roof, black mirror caps, and a black spoiler as well. And then the hubcaps, or not the hubcaps, the center caps, instead of saying Ford, they said RS. There was, however, an even more limited edition. It was only available in Europe, but for the 50th anniversary of the RS brand, remember, the RS brand really started in 1968 and 1970. Ford released the 50th anniversary edition, and they only made 50 of them, only available in the UK. It only came in 1 color, which was Typh Orange. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. And it also had a mount tune dealer installed option that boosted the horsepower to 375 horsepower. So quick walk around on the exterior of the Focus RS. As I said before, we're not going to be able to see how metallic-y. Actually, let me bust out my flashlight on my phone. You might be able to see the sparkles in this paint when the sunlight hits it are phenomenal, and I absolutely love it. It is by far my favorite exterior feature of this car. The other thing that is really cool and stands out are the 4-piston Brembo brakes. They do come standard on the Focus RS, and it's just a really nice accent to it that it is in. I think it's in grabber blue, but it matches all the colorways that Focus does have with this. Except for the race red in 2018, it does look a little odd with blue brake calipers. So another interesting feature on the Focus RS is, let's come around to here, you might be able to see them. These air ducts are actually active. They do channel cool air over the brakes to cool them. I know you're not gonna be able to see it because my lighting is not good in here, but interesting little fact is, on the radiator, there is a blocking plate here. It's just a little metal blocking plate from a Ford Transit van because Ford inadvertently made the intercooler too efficient for humid weather to where it was causing moisture buildup. Front of the car, I think Ford did an awesome job. It does look very aggressive from really no matter what angle you look at it. And I think my favorite part of the hood is gonna be these headlights. Headlights, I feel like most of the time on vehicles, they just kind of disappear into the bodywork, but for whatever reason, I feel like these just follow the hood contour, and I absolutely love them. They stick out a little bit. They just look really good, in my opinion. Walking around to the rear, plenty of trunk space. Obviously, it is a hatch, so I'm a big golfer, no issues fitting golf clubs or anything like that. And I think the rear spoiler is just a nice little touch, a little more aggressive. It's not too obnoxious, nothing too crazy. Trying to think anything else really walking around on the outside. The only thing that I have done optional to this, because this is my personal vehicle, is I do have Rally Armor mud flaps because I did daily drive this for about 3 years, and in the winter it's definitely needed. Coming around to the rear, again, the diffuser, I love the diffuser, dual exhaust, and I like the material that Ford has used for the diffusers. It's the same thing on the GT350 and other Ford performance vehicles, but it's like this hexagonal design, and it just looks really, really good, I think. Focus RS key, I think looks cool. Got a little Pirelli Formula 1 wheel and tire there. I think that's my favorite keychain ever. But this was my first vehicle without actually a key with the ignition, so I've never had any issues with this, but I love the fact that when I want to leave and lock my vehicle when I get out, I touch it, it locks. When I want to get back in it, just reach in, like any modern day car nowadays. Works really well. I've never had any issues with it besides wintertime. Ice and snow can get built up here and it won't sense it, so you kind of have to collect that every now and then, but it works just fine as soon as you clear off the snow and ice. Moving to the interior, it's an overall really nice interior to be in. Again, I apologize for the lighting in here, but blue stitching carried on throughout the RS with these heavily bolstered Recaro seats. A flat bottom steering wheel, T-shaped steering wheel, again with stitching, controls. It's all really convenient. And got some nice pedals, I guess you could say. Yeah, they feel like aluminum. It's not fake, so that's cool. I wish this wasn't plastic and actually aluminum, but something you could always buy. One thing that I was kind of disappointed in, for whatever reason, I wish they would have carried this blue stitching throughout with the floorboards and the floor mats, and maybe had a little RS badge. I just feel like these are kind of chintzy and cheap. Turning on the Focus RS, hit the ignition tucked away right in there. Push in the clutch to start it like normal. Has a nice little RS and Ford Performance comes up. Looks really good. I love getting in and seeing that all the time. But my favorite thing by far on the interior is going to be the Sync 3 system. If you've ever been in a Ford and you've messed with the Sync 3 system, you know how well they operate. Let's go to source, my Bluetooth, done, hit audio, or you can hit AM. It's really responsive. AM, why'd I hit AM? FM. There you go. And you have a bunch of presets you can go through, which is really nice. Let's see if it connects to my phone. There we go. And then load up my phone. Let's put on Amazon Music and hit favorites and hit, I don't know. Let's do Throne by Bring Me the Horizon. Pops up, no problem. Connects, it is absolutely wonderful. The shifter, it's a really short throw, and I absolutely love it. Kind of wish it was carbon fiber, but I'm a big carbon fiber guy, so. But I just like the trim accents that they have in here. Little, like, I don't know if these are actually aluminum, but they feel like aluminum. I'm sure they're plastic, especially in the air vents and stuff, but just nice little touches throughout. And honestly, compared to its competition, I think they absolutely nailed this interior. It is a wonderful place to be. You have your driver assist and drive modes here, trip information, settings. Let's go to driver assists, and this is where you would turn on launch control. Click launch control, put it in first gear, floor it, and it has a factory 2-step, which is so fun to use. But moving on up, have a little gauge cluster up there, which is nice. Always interesting to see, you know, how much boost you're pushing. And let's turn it off, go around to the back. The back, honestly, it's nothing special, guys. Back of the vehicle, you can fit 3 people back here. What is that? But this seat up front is about in its normal position. I'm a pretty small guy. I do have some leg room here. It's nothing crazy, but I mean, if you're 6 foot, it is going to be a little cramped. No cup holders or anything like that, but some blue stitching accents and things like that, which is always nice to see. So, first thing when you get in a Focus RS that you notice are these Recaro seats. They are heavily bolstered. I'm a small guy. I'm 5'8", 5'9" on a good day, and if you're under 5'9", you know that 5'9" on a good day is very important depending on what shoes you wear. So 150 pounds-ish, and these are tight on me. So if you are bigger than me, they might be uncomfortable for some. The other thing you have to do is turn off your auto start stop. I have stalled this car twice because of the auto start stop. I decided that I'm going to try to use it this time at a stoplight. I got distracted. I went ahead and put the car in drive, and I stalled it instantly. And then I went to push the clutch back in, start the engine because I thought it died. And as soon as you push the clutch in, the car kicks back on. So what I did is I turned my car off in the middle of an intersection twice because I was panicking. So always auto start stop off in the Focus RS for me. The shifter, very short throw, really nice. The clutch, very light, super easy to drive. And you can just let off the clutch and the car will go forward by itself. I think that's a very cool little trick. You can teach anybody to drive stick, essentially, in this car. You have 4 drive modes. You have normal, what we're in now, sport, track, and drift. If you don't drive around in sport mode and you leave it in normal mode most of the time, it's really quiet. Not a lot of exhaust notes or anything, but as soon as you put it in sport, got some rocks here, you get some crackles and pops, and it sounds awesome. Now, it's not the best sounding exhaust, I will say, but driving it in sport, it is fun. It stiffens the spring rates by 40%, so the ride quality, which is already incredibly rough, gets even more rough. It's not that fun as far as ride quality. But coming on rough roads like this, let's put it on track mode. You guys might be able to hear how stiff this gets with stuff rallying around. It's loud, and it's very, very aggressive. Ugh. And I'm like trying to avoid potholes and stuff too. It's just, oh, it's so bad. Let's put it back in normal so I can actually have a conversation. The ride quality is very bad. And here we go. We're on a smooth road. We're about to go to a rough road right now. It's a lot louder. Things are now shaking. If you're on a smooth road, the ride quality really isn't a big deal. But as soon as you get off to anything that's not a brand new road, things are, you know, rattling around a little bit, and it just changes from surface to surface. I have a love-hate relationship with this car, where I love it, but I just don't understand why Ford couldn't make in normal mode. You know, when you go to sport mode, as I said, it's 40% stiffer. I don't know why they couldn't make it 60% stiffer and soften this by another 20% in normal mode. And I think that would have been a good compromise. So essentially how this all-wheel drive system works is it's doing calibrations or readings all the time while you're driving. Every second you're driving, it's doing over 100 calculations or readings, whether it's lateral acceleration, steering input, throttle input, you name it, it's doing it. And what it allows the vehicle to do, or the all-wheel drive system will allow the vehicle to do, is it's going to allow the outside rear wheels to spin quicker than the front, so it sharpens the turning radius and it helps push the vehicle around corners. And that's why you don't get a lot of understeer in this car, which is really, really fun. But it is crazy how much grip you get. Now this RS1 is on Michelin Pilot Super Sports, which is a step below the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. But the grip you get is absolutely insane. And we have some twisty turnies coming up here. A few twisty turnies, I think. So let's downshift some gears. We might get some bangs and pops. And it hugs corners like nothing. And you can straight get it. And got a kind of big hill here. Got people driving a tricycle on the road. I don't know. We're in the middle of the country, but that's cool. The turbo, there's no turbo lag in this, I feel like. There's a little turbo lag, but it's really interesting because you feel like it's like, okay, it's gonna stop producing power. It's gonna stop, right? And no, it just keeps building and building and building. And it's pretty fun car to drive. And the brakes, again, 4-piston Brembo brakes, they stop on a dime. Let's do a little late brake here. Oh yeah, like nothing. A little sharper corner here, turn in, roll on the throttle, grab another gear, brake, downshift, roll through it. Yeah, it handles amazing. Ride quality is definitely rough, but man, got out of adjustment there. It's kind of scary because it just gives you so much confidence. It's like, oh, I can take this cloverleaf off ramp at 70 miles an hour. This will be no problem. The other thing about the RS that you notice is you really don't sit low in it. You would think, you know, being a sports car tuner import, whatever you want to consider it, that you'd sit lower, and you actually sit quite high. And even me being a shorter guy, I feel like I'm sitting high, but it's kind of a weird sensation because you don't see any of the hood at all. The only thing I can see right now, even if I get my head up here, I can barely see the front of the hood. So it feels really short and compact, which I like. Another thing that I like, and some people hate, but it has hill assist right here. So I'm on a hill, I let off the clutch, 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 seconds it gives you to engage the clutch and go. You can turn that off, but I believe you have to turn it off every time you get in the vehicle. And I just think it's something that's really convenient. You know, driving older manuals, older vehicles that don't have that, it's something you don't notice until you drive a newer vehicle, and it is really nice. I mean, like I just said, I sat there for 4 seconds before rolling backwards. And you know how some people are, they want to, you get on a hill and they want to be right on you, and you're kind of have to like slip the clutch a little bit to keep going forward. So it's a nice little touch. I like that. So there you have it. 2017 Ford Focus RS. And just give you a quick summary of what I think it is and what I think it means. I don't think this car is perfect. By no means is this car perfect. It's not. The turning radius is garbage. There's no such thing as a U-turn in this thing. You might as well rip the e-brake or put it in drift mode to try to get where you want to go. The ride quality is absolute garbage. It is way too rough. Why it couldn't be 30% softer in normal mode all around, I don't know why. The brake dust, if you have nitrous blue or white, the brake dust is gonna just get embedded into the paint and you're gonna have to clay bar your car quite frequently. And if you live in Michigan, like where I live, or you live anywhere that gets snow, you're gonna have to upgrade the skid plate. The skid plate from the factory is very light. It's pretty much just carpet and cardboard. And that's not gonna last very long when ice gets built up on it and snow gets packed in. So if you do live in a cooler climate that does have inclement weather and snow, definitely invest in a skid plate if you don't already have one. But the pros to it, to its competition, I think, from the factory, more horsepower, more torque. It only comes in a 6-speed manual, which I love, which most auto enthusiasts love. And bang for the buck right now, you can find them from $26,000 to $40,000 almost for a limited edition 2018. I think if you can get them for anywhere from $26,000 to $33,000, your bang for your buck is phenomenal. It's a great driver's car too. I mean, and for Ford, I think it's the last of a dying breed, considering they're no longer making cars. The only car they're gonna make is a Mustang. And they were supposed to bring the Focus Active to the United States in 2021, I believe. But the last time I checked, which was yesterday, to make sure I'm giving you guys the correct information, due to the tariffs and the Focus Active being built in China, they're no longer bringing it here. So Ford's no longer making cars besides the Mustang, which I think is only gonna help the value of this car. And I'm not saying that you need to buy a Focus RS and just garage keep it. If you do that, you're buying it for 100% the wrong reason. But I do think in time, 10, 20, 30 years from now, we're gonna look back on this car and realize that it was something special. We may not realize it now, but I don't think we're ever gonna get another RS badge or RS branded vehicle from Ford in the United States for a really long time. Compared to its competition, for me, it personally, the styling on the outside, it's a mix between a Type R and a Golf R, where the Golf R is too mature and just a little too mundane for my taste, a little boring. And the Civic Type R is just a little bit too boy racer-ish. This to me is perfect. Really aggressive up front, semi-aggressive in the back, and has, like I said before, more horsepower than its competitors, more torque, has more driving modes, and the drift mode. The drift mode's a blast in the snow. It is so fun. It's like driving a rear-wheel drive truck or vehicle, except you just get a little bit more pull as you're drifting in the snow because it's all-wheel drive. And I think for that reason, Ford no longer making cars, the only RS that's ever been sold in the United States, I think this just beats its competition by a hair. The interior, just a little bit nicer of a place to be than its competition as well. And I think if you're in the market for one, you should buy one now, because I think they might only increase in value. Who knows? Guess we'll just have to wait and see. But for right now, that's it for me, guys. I appreciate you hanging out, watching the video, listening to my thoughts and my opinions on it. And if you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and let me know in the comments what you want to see in the future. I'll see if I can get my hands on it. That's it for me. Thanks.